Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I am Allie, and today I have my official May TBR. Now, I know this is going to be going up a little bit later in the month than what I had hoped. Things have been busy and I apologize. I've actually already been working on some of these books, so you guys will see that in vlogs. But if I'm being completely honest with you guys, I have filmed this video 3 times. So I filmed my March TBR, my April TBR, and then I filmed my May one, and then I deleted all of them. So here I am again trying to do this. I'm hoping 4th time's a charm. I was hoping 3 times was going to be a charm, but I left out some video ideas or readathons, so here I am again. So it is coming up a little bit late. Hopefully I get a little bit more used to this. It's my first TBR that's not in a vlog, so bear with me. Also, I tried to come as prepared as possible, but I'm just gonna be completely honest with you guys. I'm following a lot of book clubs. If that is something you guys would like to see, I would love to do a video just talking about the book clubs and shouting out the different ones that I follow that I have really been enjoying this year. A lot of them, if you're part of BookTube, you probably already know. If not though, or you're newer like I am, it took me a little bit to adjust to all 9 of my book clubs. And also, if you're new here, I am Allie. Over the last year, my channel has changed quite a bit. I still do a lot of makeup because I like to have fun and get creative with my makeup, but these days my YouTube content really is lifestyle vlogs that have a lot of reading in them for the most part, and other book videos, and then still that sprinkle of makeup in there, just to have a little extra fun. I have so many hobbies, and when it comes to reading and hobbies and how ambitious I am with it, that is where my Sagittarius really comes out the most in my life. So let's get into my May TBR because it is 20 plus books. Like I said, I am a Sagittarius, and although it doesn't really show in a lot of aspects of my life, when it comes to how ambitious I am with how many books I think I mentally can get through in a month, it's a little laughable at this point. But hear me out, because these books are on my TBR, they've been on my TBR, and a lot of them, if I don't get to them, they're going to go over into the next month's TBR, hopefully. So I read 10 books last month, so let's see if we can double it this month. So for the month of May, there is 3 readathons that I am open to, or that I am participating in. The first one is Escape the Readathon, and this year it is Escape Haunted House. This is being hosted, and you know, it was created by Books with Lexi. So she is the creator of it, but she has a lot of co-hosts. There is 4 different groups: the partiers, the film crew, the vacationers, and the ghost tour. I joined the ghost tour, and there is so many good co-hosts that it was so hard to choose which group I wanted to be in, but you guys know I really get down with like the ghost tours and spooky, hella spooky vibes, so I had to go with ghost tour. Check out her channel, I will link it down below. This is a month-long readathon. We are all participating as teams. Pretty much we are trying to escape through a haunted house, and in this haunted house there is 4 rooms. It's pretty much like mood reading. In between each room, you are just reading your books that you already have planned for the month. There's forms to log in your books so that it all does it for you, and of course Lexi behind the scenes. And the 4 teams are competing on who's going to get out of the house first. There can only be 1 team making it out. And it's just a fun way to get through your TBR and have fun with others and talk with others. Some people are like buddy reading together. And then, like I said, there's 4 rooms. So each room you enter, there is a prompt. There's 2 prompts. You can choose either prompt per book that you read. So you can read let's say prompt 1 is the current book you're reading, it works for that prompt, so you're gonna log that as that prompt. It could be the correct one, it may not be the correct one, and after your team hits a certain number for the correct prompt, you make it through that room, so on and so forth. You go back to mood reading until you make it to the next room. And then, yeah, first team out wins. So I do mention that readathon because it is all month long and you can still join, but also because it literally will count towards just about, I mean, all of my books, because if it doesn't go towards a prompt, I can save it for whenever we go back into mood reading and then log it in then. So there's 2 other readathons that I'm doing this month. They're both romance categories. So we'll get to those, but I'm going to come back to them because they're kind of just readathons that are on my radar that I really hope I can participate in, but at the same time, my TBR is so long already that I'm kind of wondering if I'm going to be able to. So we'll circle back. So like I mentioned, I am following 9 book clubs this year and it's a little hectic. I've joined some late, so I have kind of fallen behind on some of them. Honestly, this month's goal is I really wanted to pick the books that sound promising to me or that fit the mood right now. I'm not bombarding myself with trying to go back and complete tons of books unless they really catch my eye. So honestly, the picks for May are just phenomenal for every book club. Every single one of the descriptions just call out to me and I'm super excited for each and every one of them. So jumping into that, the first one I have is the Literally Dead book club by Kayla, Books and Lala, here on YouTube and Instagram. This month we're reading Whisper Down the Lane by Clay McLeod Chaplin. This book is inspired by the McMartin preschool trials and the satanic panic of the 80s. The critically acclaimed author of the remaking delivers another pulse-pounding, true crime-based horror novel. Horror that jumps 30 years, as now a grown man who is just living his life is now being faced to pay for the lies kept by a little boy 30 years ago. I'm really intrigued by this one, and I've seen so many people start this book and literally fall headfirst and are just like, oh my gosh, this book is so gripping. I can't wait to start it. I'm just gonna say now, my synopsis on these are going to be very short, to the point, not extremely detailed, because I really love to go in blind with my books. I will be a lot more detailed on wrap-ups that normally happen in my vlogs, but yeah, I love going into books as blindly as possible, so these are going to be slightly vague. Next book club is The Book Troop by Gabby. Gabby Reads here on YouTube. This month we're reading The Last Word by Taylor Adams. This is a new release as well as a book of the month pick this month, and it was my pick. After posting a negative book review, a woman living in a remote location begins to wonder if the author is a little touchy or very, very dangerous. In this pulse-pounding novel of psychological suspense and terror from the critically acclaimed author of No Exit and Hairpin Bridge. Now, I've never read anything by this author, but I have heard that No Exit was pretty good. So let me know if you've read that one. Midnight Society Book Club by Elizabeth from Wirely Reads here on YouTube. A woman is haunted by the Mexican folk demon La Llorona as she unravels the dark secrets of her family history in this ravishing and provocative horror novel. The Lights Out Book Club by Sav from Riveting Reads here on YouTube and Instagram is reading Pinata, and I am super stoked for this one. Now, this is by Leopoldo Gout. I could be saying that completely wrong and I apologize, but I'm super excited for this one. A lot of people have been saying it reads very gothic, and I love a good gothic horror. A Head Full of Ghosts meets Hereditary and Pinata, a terrifying possession tale by author and artist. Pinata is a bone-chilling story about how the sinister repercussions of our past can return to haunt us. The Dark Hearts Book Club by Amy Noel Reads, I believe. This is my newest book club that I'm joining, but they have had some really interesting picks the last few months, but I'm very new to Amy's channel as well, so yeah, I'm just kind of joining in, but they are reading Monstrillo, And again, I really don't want to butcher this name, so you guys will just see up on the screen. But I was really drawn in by the cover of this, and then I read the first part of the synopsis, and I was like, I need to read this. It is a literary horror debut about a boy who transforms into a monster who tries to be a man, and these people who love him in every form he takes. Grieving mother cuts out a piece of her deceased 11-year-old son lung, one of his lungs, acting on fierce maternal instinct and an old folk tale. She nurtures the lung, growing it into a monster. She keeps it hidden within the walls of her family decaying Mexico City estate. It sounds very heartbreaking, but I'm intrigued. And I think that is it for my YouTube book clubs besides We Read King, which we'll get to in a minute. The next couple are basically all Instagram book clubs and or have like a book club app or just Discord. So the first one is the True Crime Book Club. It is hosted by, her name is Ashley. Her handle is Spookish Mommy on Instagram. We are reading Mindhunter, Inside the FBI's Elite Serial Crime Unit by John E. Douglas and Mark Olshaker. It's hunted some of the most notorious and sadistic criminals of our time. The Trailside Killer in San Francisco, the Atlanta child murderer. He has confronted, interviewed, and researched dozens of serial killers and assassins, including Charles Manson, Richard Speck, John Wayne Gacy, and James Earl Ray for a landmark study to understand their motives. I feel like it's going to be a very detailed and kind of like Criminal Minds, like really breaking down, getting into the mind of a criminal. I'm excited for it. This is my book club where they read like nonfiction, like true crime every month, and it's just like, I need that true crime fix, so it's perfect. The next one is a book club with two friends. They don't really have a name for the book club, I don't think, and I think they just go live on Instagram for their like book club meetings. It's just very chill. I honestly picked them to include in my book clubs because their picks are always so interesting. The book last month was mind-blowing. But their handles are She Reads with Cats and Reads with Dogs. And the book for this month is The Body in Question by Jill Simmett. The Place, Central Florida. The Situation, a sensational murder trial set in a courthouse. It pretty much is a case. A rich white teenage girl, a twin, on trial for murdering her toddler brother. Apparently it is a story about two jurors who are becoming, I believe, friends, but also have like opposing opinions. I think it's gonna be really interesting. I also seen that I think this book is pretty short. I think it's like under 200 pages. There is also Into the Void. This is hosted by Voided Lux on Instagram. This is a quarterly book club. So this quarter, we're currently in the second quarter, was Jawbone, and I have completed that, read that for the Horrorathon. If you missed that vlog, I'll link it up above. But I have read that, so I am prepared for the live this month, and then we should know our book for quarter 3 very soon. So yeah, still check out it. It's a really good one. The first quarter this year was How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix. So sometimes the book clubs, I like these all a lot because sometimes they like interlap with each other, and one book will count towards like 2 book clubs, so that's always nice as well. But all of them have such good picks though that I'm never bored with my reading, and I'm always switching it up and reading different things. I think the only type of book club I'm not following is like romance or smut or anything like that. The last one is the We Read King, and it is by Beth's All Booked, Beth, and then Ashley, which is _ Books and Ashley. And like it sounds, this is my Stephen King fix every single month. I've been wanting to read through Stephen King's works for a couple of years now, so this is really like helping motivate me and keeping me on track reading. So I saved this one for last because they do have Discord and they talk on Instagram as well, but they also meet on YouTube. But I saved them last because we're not only doing the book club, but it's also optional to join them on the Dark Tower extended journey. So it's 28 books from the Dark Tower series, and I'm taking it on with them. The goal is to read all of them by December. I don't know if I'm going to complete that or not, but I'm going to try. I've really wanted to read them for a while. Long story short, because I'm sure I will talk about it in future vlogs and stuff, you read like the first 2 books in the series, and then you like pause and then read a bunch of his other work that are mentioned in the future books in the series. So yeah, I think this month I'm going to try out the Gunslinger. It kind of gets the story going on the Dark Tower series with a haunting figure, a loner on a spellbinding journey into good and evil. And then also I've been 50% into The Stand for like months now, and I keep putting it off, and I need to just finish it. So that'll be my next book towards that 28 book extension of the Dark Tower series. But the book club as a whole for We Read King are reading Rose Matter this month. Roused by a single drop of blood, Rosie Daniels wakes to the chilling realization that her husband is going to kill her, and she takes flight with his credit card. Alone in a strange city, Rosie begins to build a new life. She meets Bill Steiner, and she finds an old junk shop painting Rose Matter, which strangely seems to want her as much as she wants it. But it's hard for Rosie not to keep looking over her shoulder. Rose maddened, and on the rampage, Norman is a corrupt cop with a dog instinct for tracking people, and he's getting close. Rosie can feel just how close he is getting. It's a brilliant, dark-hued fable of gender wars, a haunting love story, and a hold your breath triumph of suspense from Stephen King. I've actually had this one for a while from a flea market. I got a really cute cover that has like a cow on the cover, and I've been wanting to pick it up and read it for a while. So this is perfect. Perfect timing. So that is the book club TBR books. Now moving on to other things. This next category I think is just labeled series that I've currently been working on and or books that I'm just reading for certain videos. So I've currently been reading thrillers for a vlog because I've just been in the mood for some good thrillers. So the first one is The Chalk Man by CJ Tudor. I was hooked after reading The Drift. So I wanted to read some more from CJ Tudor, and 2 pages in, I was hooked with this one. We are going back in time in the 80s for this group of kids. It's kind of giving me like It vibes as far as like the friend dynamic going on. I also think CJ Tudor's writing style is a lot like Stephen King's, and I really like that. It's kind of unfolding this dark story about these disturbing events that are happening and that lead up to a little girl being found dismembered in the woods. And then it kind of bounces back and forth from the same character from his past as a child to present him, and how things from the past are kind of coming back up and haunting him. Another thriller that I'm hoping to get to this week is The Only Survivor by Megan Miranda. It is a brand new release. I have enjoyed some of Megan Miranda's past work, and it was one of my Book of the Month pick. It is a mystery about a group of former classmates who reunite to mark the 10th anniversary of a tragic accident, only to have one of the survivors disappear, casting fear and suspicion on the original tragedy. What Lies in the Woods by Kate Alice Marshall was the April The Book Troop book club read. Like I said, I'm behind on some of these. I believe it was also from the Lights Out book club from a couple months ago as well. So I'll be getting it done for 2 book clubs this month. I've actually already started it, but I just haven't had time to finish it yet with the other books I've been currently reading. But they were 11 when they sent a killer to prison. They were heroes, but they were liars. So this is about I believe there's 4 girls, if I'm remembering right. There's 4 girls, and they went into the woods and only 3 came back out. One of them was dead, and it's kind of like the Chalkman vibes, where it's like now they're older and they're like having to like revisit things from their past and when they were children. So yeah, it's very close in the same vibes, but different stories going on. Last month's Midnight Society pick was The Protege by Jody Gurman, and I was late to the game on this one. I finally finished it though, so stay tuned for like the wrap up on it. But pretty much this is about a woman named Hannah who is a professor at a prestigious college, and she has proteges underneath her that she is very fond of and is teaching, but little does she know that one of them has a very dark secret that she is keeping, and her protege is secretly sabotaging her, and she has no idea why her life is falling apart and crumbling, all because this protege is trying to get back at her for something that she did in her past. It was quite the adventure reading that one. I am currently reading Twilight and Midnight Sun. I've mentioned this before in a past vlog. I'm revisiting some old favorites from back when I was a preteen and teenager. These are both from Stephanie Meyer. They are sparkly vampire books. Also, I'm really hoping to get to Finley Donovan Jumps the Gun, the book 3 in the Finley Donovan series. It is a new book from this year. It was a part of the Literally Dead book club. I've just been slowly making my way through the series this year, but I have been really loving it. It is very fun, quirky, and I love the character so much. It is a woman who is hired to be a hit woman, even though she is not a hit woman. She is an author, and she's just kind of trying to navigate her life as a single mom, and the unexpected or expected always happens, and it's a fun ride. Yeah, I'm really hoping to finish that series this month. I promise we're almost there. Now I just kind of want to go back to before where I said readathons. So there is 2 romance readathons. The first one is the 72 hours romance-a-thon. This is being hosted by @bookish_Jim. It is Jordan on Instagram. I am very new to her account. I just came across this, but I seen that from May 19th through the 21st, she is celebrating her birthday, and she is a romance reader, so everybody's reading romance. She does have prompts. The first one is a book with a pink cover. I have Happy Place by Emily Henry from the library, so I think that's going to be my pick for it. Harriet and Wynne have been the perfect couple since they met in college. They go together like salt and pepper, honey and tea, lobster and rolls, except now for reasons they're still not discussing, they don't. They broke up 6 months ago and still haven't told their best friends, so it's a fake dating and also maybe second chance love. Although I love me some fake dating, that trope, I'm not usually a big fan of the second chance, so I don't know how I'm gonna like this Emily Henry. The next one is, I think, a romance of your choice. So I'm hopefully going to be reading book 1 and 2 from Abby Minez, The Part of Your World, and then her new one, which is Truly Yours. Part of Your World is after a well-bet gourmet grilled cheese sandwich and cuddle with a baby goat, Alexis Montgomery has had her world turned upside down. The cause? Daniel Grant, a ridiculously hot carpenter who's 10 years younger than her and as casual as they come. The complete opposite of sophisticated city girl Alexis, and yet their chemistry is undeniable. I've been wanting to read it for a really long time. I don't have the synopsis or anything for yours truly because it is the second book in the series. I believe it is completely different characters, but I don't know how they intertwine with the first book, and I do not want to ruin anything for myself going into this. The last book is a romance with the sport, and I was like, I'm not really big in sports to begin with, so romance with sports, I'm just kind of like, oh. But the following weekend is the 72 Hours in the Smut Den. This is hosted by Cassidy, and she does have some co-host for this as well. It is covers with Cassidy here on YouTube and I think Instagram as well. But this is going to be from May 25th to the 28th. And I found A Lie for a Lie by Helena Hunting. It is, I believe, a hockey romance smut. So I think it's gonna kind of go hand in hand with those two readathons. But I'm just kind of hoping like the more towards the end of the month is just like fun, adventurous, and that's definitely what it's going to be with these prompts, because there's no prompts with the Smut Den. There's 2 spinners, you spin it, there's a dark one and then there's a light one, and it's pretty much just like aspects for like the cover of a book. So it'll be like a dark book cover, or you know, this has to be on the cover, or this, or whatever. So it's going to be interesting. I can't really plan that TBR since it's going to be very spontaneous, but it is at the end of the month, so even if I just get 1 book in, I will be happy. But I have been slowly working up the courage of reading more smut for a vlog I've been working on for like 3 months now. And I've stopped for so long that I'm like telling myself it's time to get back into it and finish that video. Oh my gosh, I am out of breath. That is a lot of books. It is very ambitious. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get through all of these, but you know what? I wanted to have a very ambitious month because it is the Escape the Readathon, and I really want to help my team out and read as many books as I possibly can this month. And there's just a lot of good ones. It was hard to narrow it down and choose. So yeah, let me know if you're reading any of these or if you have read any of them. Please do not spoil anything for me. But yeah, let me know what you think of them, or if you plan on reading them, and maybe we can even buddy read some. But yeah, thank you guys so much. I'm sorry if this video was super long or super rushed and rambled. I'll get better at it as we go, and maybe plan my next one to be a little bit more easy flowing, because I do feel like this one was a little all over the place. But thank you for hanging out. I appreciate it, and I'll see you in my next video. I've been doing fine except the stabbing pain up in my chest, and I'm stuttering. I'm done, but now you're gone again. I'll take all your issues, you can have my friend.